All right, today we're going to be talking about what is probably my all-time favorite property, the distributive property. It comes in so handy in so many situations. And you learned it a little bit earlier this year, but we're going to extend your knowledge to include it with combining like terms. So recall, when you use the distributive property, you're going to multiply the term that's directly outside the parentheses by each term in the parentheses. So if you had something like 3 times the quantity x plus 2, you'd multiply the 3 by the x and the 3 by the 2, and you'd be left with 3x plus 6. So I want to give you a tip. When simplifying a larger expression, distribute first and then combine like terms second. Why do you think that is? If you said, hey, distributive property is multiplication, and combining like terms is addition, yeah, I want to follow my order of operations. Multiplication comes before addition. You are spot on. Let's look at a few examples. So I want you to just simplify each expression as much as possible. So the first thing I want to do is distribute. So I'm going to take this term right outside the parentheses, the 5, and multiply it by everything inside the parentheses. So 5 times x and then 5 times 4. So 5 times x is 5x. 5 times 4 is 20, and it's a positive 4 and a positive 5, so it's a positive 20. The other terms are not inside parentheses, so I like you to bring them down. Plus 3x minus 1, just like that. Then I'm going to look at some like terms and see if I can combine them, just like we did in the last lesson. So here I've got a 5x, and here I've got a positive 3x, so that combines to 8x. If I look at the next, I've got a positive 20 here and a minus 1. So 20 and negative 1 is plus 19. 8x and 19 are not like terms, so 8x plus 19 is my final simplified answer. All right, I'm giving you this one because this is a very common misconception that students have, and a lot of times they can really struggle to get this right. So it might be tempting to do 8 minus 2 first, but remember we need to do multiplication before addition, so we have to do our distribution. And when we're multiplying here, we need to be really careful. I'm not actually just multiplying a 2 here. I want to take the sign that goes with it. So I'm actually multiplying this negative 2, or you could write it as plus negative 2 instead of minus 2. So I'm going to do negative 2 times 3x. That's a minus 6x. And negative 2 times a positive 4 is a negative 8. And then my other terms that I haven't dealt with, I'm going to bring down. So I have the 8 and I have the minus 3. After that, same thing. I'm going to look for my like terms. So it looks like negative 6x is kind of all on its own. It has nothing that goes with it. So I'm going to write negative 6x just down. And then for my constants, my numbers, I've got 8, negative 8, and negative 3. Well, 8 and negative 8, I'm zeroing out, and I just have a negative 3 left over. So I have negative 6x minus 3. No like terms, so you're done. Okay, we're going to look at one more, and this problem has like 2 pitfalls that people usually have a hard time with, so we're going to kind of look at them both. So here, I have a negative sign in front of the x minus 6. I want you to think of it, well, you've got a couple options. You can just distribute the negative sign if you're feeling confident with that, or if you don't like it, there's no number there, you're allowed to just call this negative 1 because it's negative 1 times a quantity is the same as just a negative times that quantity. So if I do negative 1 times x, I have negative 1x or just negative x. Okay, I have a negative 1 times the negative 6. Negative times a negative is a positive, so this becomes plus 6. And this time I gave you 2 sets of parentheses, so let's look at the second set. This time I'm multiplying the 2x by everything inside. Oh boy, and it's a 2x times x. Ugh. I hope you remember that x times x is x squared. So 2x times x is 2x squared. And since this is a positive 2x that's being multiplied by x, this is a positive 2x squared. And then I have 2x times a negative 5. Positive times a negative is a negative, so this is negative 10x. Okay, and then again, I'm going to look for my like terms. I've got a negative x here, and a negative 10x. That's negative 11x. The 2x squared has no like terms. It's common for me to put that first, so I've got 2x squared first, minus 11x, and the plus 6 has no other like terms, so it can finish off. And we have 2x squared minus 11x plus 6. I want you to be thinking about what some common pitfalls are here and seeing what you might do to make sure you don't fall into those traps.